We're going to be starting, like I said, some of you guys just joined. We have two interviews. One of them is a professional soccer player that played games against Barcelona, Ajax, Manchester United, Bayern. He played for Beşiktaş. He's a great soccer player. He went through some injuries. He's playing still professional soccer in Turkey. He's also coaching soccer on the side as well, and I had to do translations with him, but he touched some interesting subjects. And then the second one is a player that I trained 7 years myself and played for Gonzaga, played professional soccer before, and now he's playing in Madison. Madison FC for USL when he gets paid to play. Right here, Faruk Omer, this is him. And this is Jaylen Jones. If you guys remember, the Jaylen Jones is a United States national soccer team player. Very successful, played in Germany, played in Turkey professionally. This is Beşiktaş. When they were in the Champions League, they were playing together. This is him I interviewed today, and that's Jaylen Jones. Let's see, I have a couple more pictures. This is him again with his weird hair down there, but I like him. He's a good guy. And this is with Quaresma. Ricardo Quaresma is one of the Portugal national team players, one of the most talented players in the world, and he played in the same team together for a couple of years, which is great. And then this is him wearing the jersey. I think this is like an hour before when they start training, and this is kind of exciting to have an interview with this gentleman. So we're going to be starting with this interview. Like I said, there is a Turkish translations because I had to ask him. He doesn't speak much English. He does, but not fluently enough. So I'm going to be translating all the questions. But there is a lot of good information from a real professional player. All right, guys. So we're going to be starting now. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys. This is the coaching director and the founder of Gala FC and the professional team Steelhead coach Tajikistan. I have somebody very exciting for you guys. I'm going to have to translate. He doesn't speak English. His name is Omer Faruk Kaya. He's a former big-time professional soccer player for Beşiktaş. He has played games against Barcelona, Ajax, Manchester United, Bayern. He's from one of the best youth programs in Europe. Beşiktaş youth program is been super successful, and I years ago when I played in Turkey, 1996, 98, Beşiktaş was the toughest team to play against. It's exciting to have him here, and I'm going to be asking him a couple of questions. Merhaba, hoş geldin.
Merhabalar. Bu arada diksiyonunuz çok iyi abi ya. Çok başarılı.
Teşekkürler. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions, guys. First question, I'll ask and I'll translate. I'll let you translate the question first. So what I'm asking him is, for a player who played for Beşiktaş, for such a big club, what do you suggest to young soccer players? Genç oyuncular için Beşiktaş'ta yetişmiş bir futbolcu olarak genç oyunculara önerilerin neler? 11 ile 19 yaş arası neler önerebilirsin?
Şimdi öncelikle ben şöyle söyleyeyim. 7 yaşında Beşiktaş'ta başladım. Bayağı da iyiydim. Hani kaptanlık yapıyordum. En üst yaş kategorilerine kadar arkadaşlarımla birlikte.
Tamam.
Yani kendilerine kesinlikle inansınlar ve sonuna kadar gitsinler. Gerçekten insan inanırsa kendisine başaramayacağı hiçbir şey yok.
Tamam. He's saying that he started in Beşiktaş when he was 7 years old, and he even became a captain. He was doing great with his team. They were a great team together, and he has suffered many injuries, ACL, some of the MCL and PCL torn, and people, even his doctor was suggesting him to just quit. It's not going to happen, but he pushed through and he made it all the way to Beşiktaş pro team. And to him, it seemed like when he was playing for the Beşiktaş youth program, it seemed like it's just an impossible dream when he was watching those players, but he never gave up. And there's been some players just like him, they never give up. So it's all about not giving yourself an excuse
and pushing through. He wants you guys to keep trying and never give up on your dream, and it will come, it will happen. So thank you, Faruk. Let's see the next question. Senin günlük rutinlerin ne? Yani kendine iyi bakabilmek için futbolcu olarak.
Öncelikle çok iyi beslenmek gerekiyor. Çünkü bizim vücudumuz kilo almaya müsait oluyor. Dediğim gibi ben kenar oyuncusu olduğum için çok zeki ve çok seri olmam gerekiyor. Çabuk olmam lazım. Çabuk olan bu işte kazanır her zaman.
Başka bir şeyler, yemek olarak neler yiyorsun?
Genelde yumurta, et, süt şeklinde. Ama sebze de yemeye çalışıyorum. Çünkü sebze çok yararlı vücut için. Sebzeyi çok tüketmezsek ilerisi için sıkıntı olabilir. Ama et de yumurta bol bol tüketiyorum diyebilirim.
Okay, I asked him about his daily routine. And as a professional soccer player, he is still playing. He went through some injuries, but he's still playing. And he says he wakes up in the morning to wake himself up. He gets coffee just like all of us. And then he has, because he's a winger, he's a fast winger, so he needs to keep his quickness as much as he can. So he trains about 2 hours every morning after breakfast. And for breakfast and daily, he eats eggs, milk, vegetables, and lots of protein. So meat, possibly chicken, I'm guessing. But like, so he is suggesting to young soccer players, don't forget to drink your milk. It's been really helpful for him. He's a very muscular soccer player. You know, he has one of those like Ronaldo muscle legs. You know, so you know he's taking care of himself well. So you know, you guys gotta make sure that you pay attention to this gentleman. Okay. Onu daha önce sordum bu soruyu. Yani sen cevap verdin biraz ama mevkinle ilgili yaptığın antrenmanlar ne? Kendi mevkinle alakalı.
Daralama çabukluk çalışıyorum. Bol bol ip atlıyorum. Onun dışında ani dönüşler çalışıyorum. Çünkü maç içinde kenar oyuncusu olduğumuz için ani dönüşler yapmak durumunda kalıyoruz. Kalecinin attığı degajlarda, out atışlarında.
Genelde kenar oyuncular için değil de kafa atışları ama çok tabii güzel bir şey kafa atışı iyi olması.
Bu biraz da uzun boylu olmamla alakalı. İyi de sıçrama kabiliyetim olduğunu düşünüyorum. Benim de kendime ait özelliğim biraz daha kurnaz olup hızlı ve iyi sıçrama kabiliyetimin olması.
Süper, süper. Teşekkürler. Omer Faruk is saying that because he needs to work on quickness, I asked him for his position, being a winger, what does he do for training? He says he needs to work on quickness, and he does a lot of quickness drills as well as he jump ropes, so that helps with his quickness. He works on a lot of changing direction sprints. I kind of showed you guys that Cristiano Ronaldo drill, going one way and then suddenly change direction to the other side. So he does drills like that just to be able to like deal with the going back and forth and keeping the speed up and changing speeds. So he works on that, and he's definitely suggesting that you got to keep on your position and specifically work on those things. But he's also very good at headers, and that's usually not a winger expectation. But his coaches always assign him to play up front for corners and free kicks because he's good at headers, and he feels like he's responsible because he's taller and he's good at headers. He feels responsibility in the midfield to win the ball when it's on air, and that's why the coaches always pick him for corners and free kicks as well. Çok teşekkürler, çok güzel bir cevaptı. Peki, yani Amerika'daki antrenörlük tabii değişik Türkiye'den. Çok iyi tutuyor. İbrahimovic oradaydı. Ha?
Zlatan'ı da biliyorum o.
Zlatan büyük işler yaptı burada. MLS'i de seyrettim, belki de seyretmişsindir o ligi, Amerikan Ligi.
Evet, izliyordum. Sports TV yayınlıyordu.
Ha.
Burada.
Arasındaki Türkiye'deki, oradaki futbol arasındaki en büyük farklar ne sence?
Öncelikle ben size şöyle söyleyeyim. Benim Kaan Gültoprak diye bir arkadaşım var. Konya'da biz tanıştık. Onun dışında şöyle söyleyeyim. Mesela ben de hocalık yapıyorum aynı zamanda o sebebi. Benim de öğrencilerim var. 6-14 yaş arası. Bizimkiler de altta kalıyor.
Ne yazık ki. Yetenek olarak doğru söylüyorsun. Çok acayip yetenekli Türk. Yani maçta kayboluyor adam.
Aynen.
Çünkü nerede duracağını tam olarak bilmiyor sokak futbolundan dolayı. Onu bir translate edin. So I asked him, what do you think about the differences from what you see? He watched some MLS before. What is the difference between the Turkish soccer, which is very technical soccer, very skillful soccer, versus his teams, and he also coaches soccer in Turkey too. He was telling me that he has a friend that he played together, and when he was loaned to second division, he became a U.S. national team player. And he said that player wasn't very intelligent, but he was a hard worker. He was a very physical player, and he said that he did really well there. He wouldn't be able to make the Turkish national team, but because it seemed like Americans really care about the job is given to him. You need to go mark that guy, and you need to make sure you do a good job marking that guy. And he said that he was incredible with that. So he feels like it's more a physical soccer in the United States and more about being fit. And in Turkey is more about technical. But there is one thing that he admires American players. He says that Turkish national teams always create amazing players. We send players to Barcelona, the oldest Atletico Madrid, the oldest clubs, but unfortunately they don't learn the discipline in a young age. They learn how to play soccer, and they're very intelligent, but they don't take care of themselves. Once they see money, they start partying and they start doing all this other stuff, and they kind of lose the goal they originally had to be a top level soccer player. So he says that he admires the soccer players, and his favorite player for United States is Landon Donovan. He felt like Landon Donovan was a different type of player. He's not the usual American type of player. He was very intelligent. When he had the ball, he had good ideas, and he was a big fan of Landon Donovan. So just to share with you guys. Bu arkadaşın adı neydi milli takımda da oynayan?
Kaan. Kaan Gültoprak. Bu arada ben Jordan da oynadım.
Oh, okay. Kaan was the name of the American Turkish national team player. And you played where? Hangi takımda oynadın?
Kaan'la mı, Jaylen Jones'la mı?
Jaylen Jones. Beşiktaş.
Jaylen Jones Beşiktaş A takımda, evet. Bir sene kiralık da o süreçte idmanlarda falan oynuyordu.
He got a chance to play with Jaylen Jones, the U.S. national team at Beşiktaş. He was playing there. Bir hatıran var mı onunla, ilginç bir hatıra?
Yani ilk geldiği zaman iki tane de çocuğu vardı, çok tatlı ya, sarışınlar. Olağanüstü hayranım bunların çocuklarına falan.
That's Jaylen Jones.
İlk geldiği zaman hani örnek aldığım şeyler onlardan.
I asked him if he has a experience with Jaylen Jones when he was playing in the same team. He said that he has two wonderful, cute children and two blondies, and he was obsessed with them. He really loved them. And Jaylen Jones, he said that one of the only players in the team was physically completely fit, and he was a beast pretty much. And he was very admiring his work rate and how he takes care of himself on and off the field. So that was interesting. So hey, thank you, Faruk. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping us out.
Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkürler.
All right, guys. I'm just gonna close this real quick. I hope you enjoyed that. I know there's a lot of Turkish in there, and some of you guys got lost with that, but this is kind of exciting. This player played in Champions League level. He played games against Barcelona, Ajax, Manchester United, Bayern. He's a good player. This is really exciting for you guys to be able to hear directly from soccer players, professional soccer players like this. Please make some comments about it before I start preparing. We're gonna have another interview. One of my personal private lessons. I coached for 7 years, and there's gonna be a lot of good information from him as well. And if you can hear though, one of the biggest things about this was he's a winger and how he takes care of himself. And he tore his ACL, he tore his MCL, PCL, he broke his arm. So many injuries, but he pushed through and he made it to his dreams, and he played for his dream team. So I think you guys need to understand that the message he's trying to give you guys is no matter what country you're from, the goals are still should be the same. It's the drive, you not giving up, not giving yourself excuses like to stop. Many people give up after an injury. Many people give up after something is not going right, and he obviously takes care of himself really well. And he played with some top level players like I showed you guys. Jaylen Jones is somebody American soccer fans knows, and everybody should know about Quaresma. Quaresma is Ricardo Quaresma, plays for Portugal national team. He and Cristiano Ronaldo is being compared to each other about skills, and Cristiano actually admits that skills-wise, Quaresma is probably one of the best in the world. It's better than him when it comes to like individual skills, and he's very famous with Rabona move. He scored a lot of goals. You can search him. This is the gentleman again wearing the jersey of the team. It's important that you guys kind of hear the mentality of these soccer players and kind of take advantage of hearing from them. I can guarantee you not a lot of people can give you this kind of opportunity to like directly interview with definitely directly interviewing with professional players currently playing. So and we can even have you guys, I kind of tried to ask the questions that you guys kind of wanted to know from people. So this is really exciting. So a couple of questions came about crossing and where to be. We're going to be kind of touching that subject, and I'm going to start the next interview, and we're going to be done after that. So I'm going to show you guys. So the counter attack, we got the ball to behind the goal, and this guy is running full speed. And where to go, right? And some players, unfortunately, they check into a player and they just kill the angle of the goal. Do you see where we are? We need to start running this because this guy's going to be running back. You need to be in the blind spot of the player, right? This is the blind spot. I'm going to be showing you a video with that too. Both defenders are coming. This guy is coming. Probably he's going to be coming. So blind spot, both blind spots. Do you see the areas? Now I'm going to show you guys, so when you guys are coming in here, in these areas, okay, you can make a diagonal run here, diagonal run that way. You can just stay where you are, and the ball going behind the defender is going to be able to go as well. So if the player is here and you're making a run there, you can, if the cross comes here, you can finish. Cross comes there, you can a little bit like that, or straight in to finish, just as long as you're in the blind spot of a defender. Same thing in the back post. When the back post comes in, goalie is going to try to recover fast. It's the best idea, of course, try to go to the opposite side when you shoot. That's the smartest thing you can do. So because they're recovering, it's always going to be an outside the box or the line option. So if we get to this area, the player didn't cross on time and we're still running, there's going to be a player here, there's going to be a player coming back. So let's clear that. So the defender, when he recognizes he is here, he's going to be running to this guy, but he's in a good spot still. The goalie is here. So a good cross, obviously you can finish in the front post. A good cross to back post though, this is going to be the most open player for sure. And if the defenders are going over committing, drop the ball to this area, one-time shot would be a very good idea. Goalie's view is going to be blocked. So these three players has to be in these. We can have more people, but those three areas, the drop for a cross, the front post, which is going to be in the center to wait, and the blind spot first. And you can make a diagonal run to the front post, but you got to be in the blind spot and the back post guy and the drop, right? This is important. So I'm going to show you guys a video about some of the techniques that we use. So you guys already see what the blind spot is, right? The blind spot is right behind the player, and we're going to be talking about that as well. I'm going to show you guys. A couple questions came to me about finishing crosses. One of the things that are very important, of course, as a soccer player, is being in a blind side of the player when you're going to receive the ball. It's very easy for a defender to defend you. Let's just say this is the defender's head, right? If you're running in front of him, you make him see you, and he can step in and step to the shot. It's really hard. It's not impossible. There are players who likes doing that, coming from the blind spot and cut it in front, and last second it can be good. But it's not as useful as and as consistent as being in the blind spot of a player. So if the cross is coming from that side, and this is the defender right here, right? You just need to go with the blind spot. He's looking that way, right? He's going to be in the blind spot of the player, okay? And you just need to make sure that you don't step back from the side. You see that he is more in front of me, right? So if I start running earlier, obviously I'm on offside, right? So you need to be staying on side, like a little bit behind him, so you can see the cross coming from there too, right? So now I can see the cross. So let's just say it beats this player, cross coming. One of the best techniques, of course, is the redirecting header, right? So redirecting header is side of your head, soft spot, right over it, hard spot. You close it over it, and you can actually redirect the ball from the side to the ground. So when you center your head like this, it's more like what I call a defensive header. It's not as hard necessarily, and this one you can actually redirect it and bring it down. It is really hard to redirect it and putting it down with power versus this one. When you especially stretch your body and do it like that, your whole body is moving from one way to another. You can finish across a lot better that way. So any kind of volley, when you go over the ball, right, you're going to make sure that you can make one foot go and then the other one go. The technique has to be making sure that it's the center of the ball, a little bit over the ball. So over the ball, it's going to make it bounce, right? It's going to make it bounce every time, and that's going to be really hard for keepers to catch. But when you do it under it, and when you touch it, go up and bottom and up, it's not going to be working. Same technique. You can do an inside foot. If the ball is up, inside foot. When you put your foot down like that, you make it bounce. So that makes it really complicated for a goalie to save that. But when you go straight to the ball like that, from the bottom and up, the ball is going to raise up. It's going to make a beautiful save for the keeper. Like I said, if you go over the ball and then hit it on top of it or in the center of it, it's going to be more complicated to defend. Thanks, guys. Alright, guys, I hope you watched that. Now I'm going to show you guys hold on, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys a picture I drew. So the red triangles, I don't know if you see both sides. I hope you can. I turn it just a little bit. Alright, so if this is the goal, the red will be where you want to shoot the ball, but especially the triangles, because those are very hard for a goalie when it bounces for a goalie to save in a cross. Okay, high, it's harder. These are the black circles is where the goalie is easy reach areas. These are good saves, diving saves areas. But anything bounces on the red line in the bottom is going to be pretty tough for goalies to save. This is better too, but not as good as the triangles on the bottom. So you're going to be leading any of the shots directly to those triangles, and I think it's going to make it very, very consistent, and you're going to be scoring a lot of goals that way. Just make sure you don't start from the bottom and up like I showed in that video. It's kind of weird because you can't see the whole body, but you have to start your foot high to start with and bring it down instead of starting from the bottom and raising it up. That's why a lot of players miss shots in crosses, because they start from the bottom and they raise it up, and they always gonna go under the ball because of that. Do you understand? If you have any questions about that, please ask right now, please. This one I don't have to translate. This is one of my players I coached and trained, Jaylen Crisler. Jaylen plays for USL 1 Forward Madison FC is the team. He gets paid to do this. He's a Gonzaga graduate. He's going to talk about himself too. If you have any questions before about the crosses, please ask now, because I can always go back to that before we start Jaylen's interview. I was about to sign him I was trying to sign him to my friend that is a USL Championship team, Phoenix Rising, and Phoenix Rising like kills MLS teams, and he was about to sign for them too. I was trying to get him there, but he ended up getting a good contract in Minnesota. I mean, not Minnesota, Wisconsin, for the Madison FC. He's really solid player. He's still a young guy, so I'm hoping to see him in MLS and in professional in Europe too. So great player. I want you guys to listen to him. And if you have any questions, like I said, we can come back to it, okay?
Hey guys, this is Daji. I'm the coaching director and the founder of Gala FC and the Gala FC Pro Club now. And then I'm also the head coach for the Snohomish Steelheads semi-pro team. And I have somebody that I used to train for years when he was a little kid, till 17 years old. And I love his family. Actually, we did, it was a funny story because instead of paying me, they were taking care of my teeth. His grandpa was actually taking care of my teeth. He's a top level dentist. Great guy, very funny guy. He gave me a lot of crap when I was in the chair. He's a great, amazing personality. So this is Jaylen Crisler. He's playing for USL 1 right now, for Madison FC. So he's getting paid to play. I'm really proud of him. I actually trained him for many different positions when I was his private trainer. Like I teach him moves for forward, but he ended up becoming a professional defender. You want to say a couple words about yourself, and then I'll ask you a couple questions, Jaylen?
Yeah. Like Daji said, I kind of grew up in the Everett area. He trained me from as long as I can remember, probably 10 till 17. It was a long time. And like he said, I started out as a striker, worked my way into the midfield a bit. Never really saw myself as a defender until kind of even in high school. I played defensive mid through the entire high school season before I went to college, and I ended up kind of switching to a center back then. But still, at the same time, at that time I was playing every position. My sophomore year, I was kind of more of a utility guy where I played striker, midfield, defender. So it was really important for Daji. I mean, he taught me all the skills and stuff as a striker and a midfielder, all the moves and everything, but we did so many 1v1 training and so much like striking of the ball that's helped me in my passing, my distribution out of the back, and also my defending, my knowledge of defending, of what forwards might want to do or do in situations and how to force them and whatnot. And so, I mean, just growing up, being, like I said, the striker and everything, it's taught me a lot, and playing my position now as a defender and helped me kind of just get better and better as I've developed over the years, as I've transitioned to the defense.
Yeah, so what do you think about, like, I was going to ask you about defenders.
Yeah.
So my perspective on defense always been, I mean, when I'm training you guys, I say this to you, you always expect the worst could happen. And you know, like when there's two center backs dealing with one of them going for a header, even though that guy is the best at headers, you always kind of assume he might miss that or somebody might get in front of him. So you get a little bit deeper just to make sure. Like, so my perspective always expect the worst, you know, and expect unexpected, you know, and always be aware of your surroundings, not just, you know, for the other team to be pressuring you, but also your teammates. So when a ball comes one time, instead of just booting it, you actually know where you're going to put the ball, so you can actually start an organized attack right away. So what is your opinion of an ideal defender?
Yeah, I think this day and age, I mean, it used to be the English style football where you just get the ball and lump it forward and kind of play direct and kind of get it out and make sure you're doing your role defensively. But it's completely changed where defending is important. You always got to kind of expect the worst, where even now I'm making sure every time my goal is coming out for a routine catch, I'm still covering his line and doing different things that I've learned that they could spill the ball one time and you could save a goal, or you could save somewhere it changes the game. You just kind of got to hope for the best but expect the worst, and at the same time then your positioning is key, where it's either covering or maybe you're stepping in to win, or you're in a position to help your teammate if he does get beat. Even though he might not get beat, or you think he's not going to get beat, you got to be there just to cover him. And so leading to that is like being a defender now in these day and age, it's about defending first. But I think for me and going up the pro ranks and learning, it's a lot more technical. It's a lot about your distribution out of the back, finding those breaking the lines, passing the ball, hitting the diagonals, doing different things, and being confident and technical on the ball. And like Daji said, that's something he used to train me a ton of. And I think it's helped me kind of transition to defense, and then being able to be technically do well on the ball and being able to play out the back and stuff is huge. So I think a complete defender now is you got to be able to defend, you got to be strong, you got to be good in the air. But at the same time, it's the passing and it's being confident on the ball and being technical with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And especially one thing about Jaylen I really like, and I hope that I can see in MLS or further, and maybe in Europe one day. One of them is what the Dutch started about 20, 30 years ago, total football. So you actually fit into that mentality because he can play the center mid. So when Jaylen is playing center back, it's like having a center mid playing a center back. So having that kind of, it's not very common American style.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not very common American defender, either. Like not just British, but like when you look at the players, you are a very unique type of defender.
Yeah.
And I've coached like some of the Sounders guys, and I coached. It's just you're very different, like because you have a vision. That is like a center mid, even a number 10. And in the United States, one of the things that I always have a hard time when I'm coaching and training is that number 10 role, that creative, looking one way, but you know what's going on the other side. You're always that kind of player. You always could see it. You know what I mean? Like when we had those trainings, you knew where the players were without looking. So I think that's a very big quality. Do you think that our training sessions, private training sessions helped with that? And also, do you think when you learn skills, does that help you as a defender to know what the player is doing so you can actually defend it better? When you recognize the move, you know what kind of move it's going to be?
And I think just like training, like we said, like with the 1v1s and 2v1s and stuff, and the body positioning and how to kind of defend and like shift where if they're left-footed, you want to force them to your right. So then you're going to force them that way. And just kind of the reading of the game, like you said, I've always kind of felt like I've been almost almost like a step ahead, where it's just like understanding what's going to happen before it almost happens a little bit. Where it's just reading of the game and make sure you know where you're supposed to be, and then making sure you're looking up and aware of what's around you. So right when you get the ball, if you win on a turnover, you're finding that outlet pass to kind of help the transition, start the counterattack. And I think just training with you, and like I said, the defending part of it was at the time I didn't think it was important. And you always emphasized it, and I was like, no, I'm a forward. I need to learn the moves. All I care about is the attacking side. Then
I hear that all the time, by the way.
Defend as well, and I was like, oh, I hate this. Yeah. But it was so important for me, and it's helped me as well. Just like the reading of different moves the forwards might do, or the way where they want to go, or when they want to get the shot off, or how they want to get the shot off. And it's really important for me as a defender then realizing those little tiny tendencies that they may have that I knew what I wanted back then. That helps me now, kind of whether it's blocking a shot or forcing him the way I want him to go, where I can win that tackle, or force him to the out of bounds or my cut or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. I agree. What is your routine and diet as a soccer player now, a professional soccer player? And what do you suggest for the youth soccer players about their routine and their diet?
Yeah, I mean, for me, back in the day, my routine used to be crap. My eating habits, everything. It wasn't important, I didn't think. And as I would say I felt that way almost all the way up until I was out of high school. I didn't have the best habits. I wasn't the most fit guy. I wasn't lifting or anything. I wasn't doing anything that I see now as super important. I wish I would have known maybe earlier. And I think it's changed. I think it's kind of changed over the years that those are more of a focus now as well. And kind of the complete soccer player, again, is not just on the field. It's off the field, it's the eating, it's everything. And so I think back then, like I said, I didn't really have a routine much. I would kind of just do whatever. I'd show up to practice on time. And now if you show up to practice on time, you're late and you're getting fined and you're having to do all these things for the team. And so I think for like how it's changed now, obviously with this coronavirus, it's different than what it is during the season. I would say, I'll give an example of during the season, I'll give an example of now. During the season, kind of what we do is I'd wake up on a normal day. I'd get up, I'd get some breakfast in me, usually like loaded oatmeal. So it's like some berries, some nuts, some oats, or I'd make like eggs and just fruit on the side and maybe some toast to get some carbs. So it's about balanced. And that's the important thing about the nutrition side of things, is having a balanced diet. Of course, you can't eat perfect all the time. Maybe some of the top athletes do, but that's always like a cheat day I have here and there. But for the most part, it's sticking to a routine, which is key for me being a pro, is staying on my routine. Kind of, everyone might say it seems boring, but having that routine of eating the same stuff, it just kind of helps me get in the mindset of whether getting ready for training or whatnot. So I'd go from breakfast, doing some yoga before I show up to practice about 2 hours early. Get in there, get my treatment in, do what I got to do to make sure my body's staying. I mean, it's tough being a pro athlete, it's tough being a soccer player, and especially even young ages, you're playing 3 sports, it's staying on top of your body, not making sure you're not sore all the time, doing the things you need to do. And I think it's different being a pro because you have all the resources that you do as being maybe as a youth. But just finding what you can do to kind of help yourself better and get better each day is important. So then I do kind of my 2 hours or hour and a half of treatment. I'd be in the locker room with the guys hanging around, joking around before training. Then once we get to training, it's serious. We're there for about an hour and a half, a little under 2 hours. And then I'm back in the training room for another hour doing whether it's icing, ice baths, doing different things I need to do to make sure my body's prepared, foam rolling, stretching, little things like that. I mean, they add up over time. And so then after that, I'll go home, make my own lunch. Some pro teams like I had in Detroit, we have breakfast and lunch covered every day. Here in Fort Madison, we just get some money towards having a budget make our own meals and whatnot, because people have different, they like different things with what they're eating. And so come home, make lunch, and then I'll usually just kind of relax for a little bit, maybe take a nap if needed, and then I usually go to the gym and get a lift in. And then after that, it's, again, same thing, making dinner, maybe getting a little reading in and stretching before bed, and that's kind of the day of life of a pro athlete. I would say it's a lot of emphasis on making sure your body's ready. It's tough during the trainings and getting through that, but then make sure your body's ready for the next day and preparing. So that's kind of the routine I have, is making sure that I'm getting there early, getting through my stuff that I need to do and being prepared. So when the time comes to get in practice, I'm ready, because each day it's your job and you got to be ready to go, and you're fighting for your spot. And that's obviously why you're out there, is to get better and kind of improve each day. So you got to take it and really focus and take advantage of each day.
Yeah, one important question. What you know now about your routine and your diet, do you think if you did it in a young age, you would be a different player now?
Yeah, I think for me, even through college and stuff, I wasn't the most fit guy, and I don't think that was the lack of me putting the effort in. So I feel like I've always been a guy that's had a chip on my shoulder. I've kind of grown up, even like as a young age, I went from forward to defender, and then that transition was hard for me, and where it took me a while to get in that routine. In college, I redshirted my first year and everything. And that's kind of when it transitioned to me, where it's like, maybe if I had done these things earlier, I wouldn't have had to redshirt my freshman year, and I would have been playing more. And I think it's so important with like I didn't really take care of my body. Stretching, yoga, I think is important. I think nutrition's huge. I think just the general maintenance of your body, it's so important. And weightlifting as well is something you can never get into it too soon. I think in high school, I think they're starting to do a better job at it now, at least in my high school, Archbishop Murphy, at having those weightlifting programs and the strength coach to help you through it. But if I had those things at an earlier age, I think I would definitely had a better step going into college and through college. Yeah. Kind of took, the first year was almost a transition year for me, because I had to redshirt. So it was a good thing in the end, because I was able to get my nutrition right, talk to like nutritionists, get my like mentality right, that mental side of things. That's also huge as a pro athlete, and that's for soccer players, is having the mental aspect of the game. And then also just doing everything right and figuring out how to adjust and balance life, soccer, and all that. And it's different in college than it is the pros, because pros, just everything revolves around soccer. It's your job, you're getting paid to do it. So your whole day kind of revolves around that. Where in college and high school and different things, it's hard because you got to go to class for a certain amount of hours. Then you got practice, then you got homework, and then you got maybe other sports, whatever you're doing, it's different. So I think the earlier you can get, like you said, in those, like the nutrition understanding of it, and understanding of your body and when to take time off or when to recover and how your body recovers the best, I think that's going to be super important and kind of help you get ahead of like the group that maybe like,
for sure.
Know that.
So I was going to just give my opinion as your trainer too, former trainer. Like, I feel like if you didn't have the soccer intelligence in a young age you had, and your technical ability with the ball, I don't know if you would have made it with, I think you would have made it without those. If you were training physically and nutrition wise, you would have made it as a good athlete. But I think your mind made you go that far, and now you're taking care of your body and you're becoming a complete player. But I feel like players need to understand, like, not all of you guys are going to be able to cheat and then go all the way to the top. So Jaylen is a very special player. Like, it's not like it's funny because I yelled at Jaylen too, just like I yelled at you guys. I pushed him, but he was one of the players that actually didn't yell a lot. And some players, they always like complain, why are you not yelling at him? Because he did, and he had you could see he had a personal drive. When the stuff that I was upset about, he was also upset about.
Yeah.
So why double push a kid? I try to push players that doesn't see that they need to have that voice in their head. You know, you need to do better. You gotta do better. So Jaylen always had that. So don't assume that you're gonna just be able to do a move and then took a shot in Cash Park like 2 years ago and you're a superstar. Like it's not how it works. You know, even but look, talented player like Jaylen, he understands now to be able to continue doing this and get paid, he has to take care of himself. And that yoga, taking care of themselves, like Ryan Giggs did yoga, and he played until like 41, 42 years old, and he was doing better conditioning and better flexibility than most of the young boys. They were actually jealous of, And Ibrahimovic, he does martial arts and yoga, and you could look at him like what is he, like 40 now?
Yeah,
and he's in Serie A, like playing for AC Milan, like. He doesn't know if he's going to retire yet. Like it's craziness that when players recognize this, it completely changes it. My time, I got so many injuries. I am done. I have no knees left. But
I'm getting there. I'm trying to keep.
don't not yet. I want to see you play.
I know.
I want to be proud of you more.
Well, yeah, but it's about taking care of the body. I've torn my ACL, I've torn my labrum, but it's the mental side.
Man.
That's been so important to me, though. Even though that time off, it almost increased my drive. I mean, I'd say I had it before, but then you kind of realize what's important. Like, you miss those 9 months, you miss those 6 months like I had, and it's like, I can't deal without this. And so you kind of get that drive back and to get back in fitness. And it's tough. It's a grind. It's really important to get on top of it. And that was also in our time where I was like, I need my nutrition to be best it can be. I can't slip up in any way. And so, like you said, I think I've always been really hard on myself and really tough critic of myself. And I know when I mess up, it's harder than probably you would have been on me. I was probably harder on myself.
You were.
Some of those kids maybe don't have that drive yet or haven't figured that out yet, but it's about doing all the little things right and kind of just pushing yourself each day to get better. And maybe it's not, you're not going to get better overnight. It's not going to be, you're going to become bottom of the team or middle of the team, the best player on the team. And I wasn't like that. I mean, maybe in my young days I was athletic and able to kind of get through, but as I've gotten older and as I've gone through high school and as I've gone through college, when I got to college I was bottom of the team. Right when you go to college, you're 4 years younger than some of those guys.
You went to Gonzaga, by the way, guys, one of the top schools. He didn't mention it, but I just want to say.
Good shout out there. And then, but you're at the bottom again, and you kind of got to work your way back up, and you kind of got to gain that respect. You got to gain your confidence and everything. It's tough. The confidence is huge for pro athletes, for college athletes, for young kids. It's tough because soccer is a game where if you make a mistake in the back, it might cost you a goal, it might cost you the game. But you got to have that short-term memory where you learn from your mistakes. You don't forget about them. You got to learn from them. You got to learn from them, take little bits and pieces, and it'll kind of help you along the way and kind of help get to where you want to be. And it's just so important that you just keep working each day and every day to get a little bit better, and it'll keep adding up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you got to take care of that. One of the players that came from my youth program, Arda Turan, you might know him. He went to Atletico Madrid, won the Champions League. He went to Barcelona, and at Barcelona, he was doing really well some of the games. And of course, you're playing Neymar, Messi and Suarez, and you're trying to get one of their spots.
Yeah.
So he played a good amount, but then every time he made a mistake, the supporters, of course, they wanted Neymar in, so he went through this in psychology. You go through the whole quicksand. So you make one mistake, and you make another one, and you feel like nothing is going to go better and better. It's just going to go down the hill. And when you let that happen, you cannot go further. And Arda, at the age of 28, he disappeared. Like right now he doesn't have a club, and he's thinking about coming to MLS or something. But I don't know if he's fit enough because he also likes the nightlife.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't see this in YouTube. But like it's important as an athlete. I hope you don't do that. When you go one mistake, another mistake throughout the game or your career, just don't give up, man. Like, you just gotta know that you got this short-term memory when it comes to negatives. Just learn from them and move on. But don't ever say to yourself you're having a bad day. You can always fix it, So Hey, I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah,
I'm
the
proud
other
of
thing
you.
you said that nightlife. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never drank or smoked. It's
That's
important as well, especially going through. I think people can get lost in that in college and through like the high school age and stuff. But if you're focused and you drive, like that's also something that's kind of just a little thing that maybe put me ahead of other people is because I took care of those different aspects, right? I focused on doing that, where then it maybe put me ahead
Big
of
deal.
other. It's just
Definitely big deal.
little tiny things that you can do that kind of make you better, whether it's picking and choosing to go out one night or it's before a game where either you go out or you have to stay in, you play a little Xbox and go to bed early. It's everything is like that. You gotta make sacrifices. Being an athlete, and I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am without making sacrifices. There's so much
I
of
agree.
a sacrifice for my family to play for the Sounders U23s. There's different things that you gotta give up if you're gonna aspire to be a pro, if you're gonna aspire to go D1 or whatever you guys are trying to do. You gotta make a few sacrifice here and there, and obviously family and everything comes first, but you gotta cut out maybe some of the other stuff to get to where you want to be.
Exactly. Hey, thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Hey, we talk later sometime. I'm really proud of you, Jim.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, bud.
Bye.
All right, guys. I see that you guys are chatting about something completely out of this chat. But if you have any questions, please ask about this. I am really proud of Jaylen. As I said in the interview too, he's like, you know, seeing like some of you guys I'm training right now, and seeing some of that talent, and I really want more from you guys. I wanted you guys to do, you know, all the way. I want you guys to go all the way, and I see this potential in you. And some of these players like Jaylen is really doing it by making good choices. And I hope that you guys listen to some of his choices he's made throughout his career. And I think these are very important lessons for you guys all to understand. Obviously, we do a lot of like tactical board stuff. We do a lot of trainings, but this mental part of the game and how you take care of yourself as an athlete and how you look at the whole picture is absolutely incredible. Like it's how it changes things completely for yourself. Jaylen is one of those players, very special players. It's so weird. It just feels like a couple years ago I'm training this 14-year-old, and now I'm looking at a guy, a man, and he's playing professional soccer, getting paid to do it. You know, it's really interesting to be able to see this. And I just want you guys to understand. So, like, I have a lot of players that I had gone all the way. And some of them played in Europe, some of them playing in Europe still. But I also have a lot of players that had maybe even more talent than some of these guys who made it, that didn't make right choices, didn't make good choices, and they slip. Those are the worst ones because I know how they could have been. And I've seen players who could have been like actually helping the United States national team, that could have changed the way the U.S. national team actually plays. And they just disappeared. And the parents' support, maybe sometimes, just parents just told them they're amazing, they don't need to work, they don't need to do anything, they just need to be recruited, they just need to be doing this. Or they just were completely not supportive of the kid, and that didn't help. And obviously sometimes it's the kid's personal drive or the personal character. Like Jaylen said, some of them gets into drinking, partying all the time. And I've seen, and I kind of tried to warn some of my U19 players last year, you know, you guys all of course experiment stuff, but one of the things that happened to one of my players, you know, he got a D2 offer, and one of his Instagram videos popped up, and it was drinking alcohol in a party, and he got suspended from the school, and that related to the college team, and he lost his scholarship, and he couldn't go and play, and he also couldn't play his last year of high school soccer due to his choices. And I mean, one thing that is you're not doing the right thing and now you post it in the social media is definitely not smart. But bottom line is, it's not about hiding it. It's not about doing it. You just need to take care of your body, guys. Like you're gonna experiment here and there. Like you always see you're young man, young woman, but you just need to understand that every action has a consequence. So you need to be taking care of your body. You need to get enough sleep, like Jason said right there. You need to eat well. You need to take care of your body well. It's not us that we need to take care of. You know, you have a future. You have a potential. You got a chance. And look, this guy, when he was 14, 13 years old, I didn't know. I just knew that he was a talented soccer player and he has technical, gift. But, I didn't know right away if he's gonna be. I just saw potential. I thought he could have been, but like I didn't know he could be going this far, right? Playing for Gonzaga, one of the best schools in the country, playing at the same time for the Sounders U23 team, and then going to a couple of professional teams, and he's still young. I don't know, he's like 23, 24 maybe. Like he's still young, and he has years ahead of him. And as a center back, center back's career grows a little bit later, so you could easily see him in the U.S. national team one day. So yeah, Reed Jones was a talented player for sure. So the idea with this whole thing is, guys, like just making sure that you guys understand that you are working with a good trainer, you are working with good coaches. Gala is a good place, and I'm aware that some of you guys, like I said at the beginning, are confused about, oh, we're not training, so should we even well, you need to register, and you need to show respect to our program that has not stopped 1 minute. And I've been there working for you guys and working with the PSPL League, trying to get things back on. And I've been constantly working every day, and we do deserve, this club deserves this respect. And I hope everybody registers. And if you have financial problems, like I said, please let us know. We can work with you. It's important that you guys are aware that we are also going through hard times right now, as well as you guys are. I hope that you guys respect that perspective and understand that if you want Gala to exist and do what we're doing, and in this affordable price, we do need to exist by your support. So I hope that you guys understand that, and please pass it on to your teammates, to your other parents. It's so easy to make quick, easy decisions. We all understand everybody's going through hard times. I just hope that you guys understand, we're all in it together, and we're gonna survive this together, and be safe. I'm really proud of all of you. I just hope that you guys really gonna be watching all these videos. I'm trying so hard, you have no idea, to connect with these people. I've been on the phone trying to get my former professional players. I've been on the phone a lot with the girls soccer player that played in Colombia national team in the World Cup. She's really video shy. She didn't want to give an interview on the video, but she's going to be sending me her answers to the questions in writing, and so I will be sending you guys that as well. It's really, I think we're all lucky to have such amazing coaches. I want you guys to know, after every session that we just finished, we always do a quick feedback session after, to make the videos better. I am the one in charge of these videos. I'm the one in charge of this club. I am the one that created this club. I'm the founder of it, director of it, but without these coaches, I don't improve myself as a director too. They've been giving me incredible ideas to make things better, and they are behind every scene, and they are caring about you, and this club deserves your support. I just hope that you understand that. I just hope that you understand, just like everybody, we do need the sport, and we are for your kids' health, we are essential workers. So I hope that you remember that. And this club is important to me. That's my baby. And I appreciate you guys being and choosing us, and I know we are going to be better and better, because our perspective is all about the player development. When I used to be a big part of the big clubs, and they were all about 3-4 players winning games for them and making money out of everybody else, and we are different. We want our bench player to be better. We are our bench player to be outstanding player and make a difference in the next year. And I am like, some people didn't understand, but a winning team last year killing everybody in their division. But 3-4 players doing everything. This is not Gala perspective. I remove those players, give them a bigger challenge, and people look at me like, why are you doing that? Parents are upset about it, but bottom line is, I want the players who doesn't do much when those 3-4 players doing it to pick it up. I want them to learn and improve. I want them to become stars that they should be. We're not gonna be watching 3-4 players winning games for us. That's not why Gala exists. We need to be making every single player an outstanding soccer player, and they need to all pick it up. Thank you guys for listening. We kept this one short. Wednesday I'm going to do a tactical session. We're going to be using more the tactical board, but I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed these interviews. I know the Turkish one was kind of interesting because I had to translate, but it's a valuable soccer player. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys. Have a good night.